Welcome back to High Stakes, where we help you elevate your betting strategy. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay updated with our daily content. Looking for exclusive access to premium betting picks? Join us on Patreon. Links are available in the comments section below. Stay ahead of the game with High Stakes. The Chicago Bears versus Green Bay Packers. Yet another thrilling chapter in the NFC North saga. If you're into high-stakes action, this is the game for you. Because who doesn't want to watch a team with a 4-12 record try to stop their 10-game losing streak? Spoiler, it's probably not going to happen. Chicago, once a promising squad with a 4-2 record, is now the proud owner of a 10-game losing streak. Their offense? Well, they've been so spectacular that they managed to score a grand total of 3 points last week. Yes, 3. The Seahawks must have been shaking in their boots. With a quarterback who's been sacked 67 times and a team averaging the fewest yards per game in the league, it's clear that the Bears are on fire, just not in a good way. But don't worry, their defense is still kind of there, I guess. They allowed 353.5 yards per game this season, which is great if you're playing the how much can we give away game. But hey, they're not completely hopeless. They did manage to hold the Seahawks to only 265 total yards. Congrats, Chicago. You found a small win in a sea of losses. On the other side, Green Bay, still clinging to a glimmer of playoff hope, will probably be resting some key players, but don't expect them to roll over. They've got Jordan Love, who's been okay, sort of, and Josh Jacobs, though his wrist injury means he'll be on a don't overdo it leash. Green Bay's defense has been solid this season, ranking 6th in points allowed, but their performance against Minnesota last week was, well, not great. So, what are we to expect here? Well, the Packers will probably win because it's the Bears, but they won't exactly blow them out. And as for the total, if you're expecting fireworks, you're probably in the wrong stadium. These teams have been struggling to score, and with Chicago's offense continuing to flounder, this game might be more about who can fail less spectacularly than who can win. So, take the Bears plus 10, because sure, why not? And don't be surprised if the under hits faster than you can say this game is a mess. Prediction: Chicago plus 10, under 41.5 points. Here are the best game prop picks for the Chicago Bears versus Green Bay Packers matchup. Total team points: Chicago Bears, under 17.5. The Bears' offense has been abysmal, averaging the fewest yards per game in the league, 288.4, and they've only scored more than 17 points in 2 of their last 10 games. In their most recent outing against Seattle, they were held to just 3 points. With a rookie quarterback, Caleb Williams, under center who's been sacked a staggering 67 times this season, the Bears' offense is extremely inefficient and prone to making mistakes. They also rank 29th in points per game, 17.9. Given that Green Bay's defense is solid, 6th in points allowed per game, it's hard to envision the Bears scoring more than 17 points in this matchup, especially with a possible cold, frigid environment in Green Bay that could further stifle their offensive game. Total team points: Green Bay Packers, under 24.5. While the Packers have been relatively good at scoring this season, averaging 23.8 points per game against NFC North teams, they've shown inconsistency in their recent matchups, especially against division rivals. Against Minnesota last week, they scored just 25 points despite a late push. With the Packers' playoff spot already clinched and some key players potentially resting, like Josh Jacobs with a wrist injury, they may not push for a high-scoring game. Chicago's defense, despite allowing 353.5 yards per game, is still capable of limiting Green Bay's scoring, especially if they continue to play with a bit of intensity in their final game of the season. Player prop: Jordan Love, over 1.5 touchdowns. Jordan Love has shown flashes of potential, but he's also had his ups and downs as a starter for Green Bay. However, given that Green Bay is still in contention for a higher playoff seed, Love will likely be playing most of the game and could have a chance to throw a couple of touchdowns against a Bears defense that allows 21.8 points per game, 12th in the league. While the Bears secondary is capable of limiting big plays, Love has been solid enough to hit this mark, especially since the Packers will likely lean on his arm rather than rushing with a banged-up Josh Jacobs. This prop seems reasonable for a quarterback playing in a high-stakes game. Player prop: Josh Jacobs, under 60.5 rushing yards. While Josh Jacobs has been a key player for Green Bay this season, his wrist injury will likely limit his touches in this game. Green Bay is in a position where they don't need to rely heavily on Jacobs, especially if they have a lead. With Jacobs expected to be on a limited touches leash, he might not be able to rack up the yardage he usually does. The Bears' run defense has been pretty solid in recent weeks, so it's unlikely Jacobs will break 60 rushing yards, especially given the injury concerns. If the Packers lean on Jordan Love to lead the offense, Jacobs might get fewer opportunities, making the under on his rushing yards a good option. Player prop, total sacks for Bears, over 2.5. The Chicago Bears have been able to create some pressure this season, recording 37 sacks, and they're going up against a Green Bay offensive line that has shown vulnerability at times. Jordan Love has been sacked 36 times this season, and with the Bears needing to apply pressure to stay competitive in this game, they should be able to record at least 3 sacks. Chicago's defense, while not elite, has been decent at getting to the quarterback. The Packers have allowed 44 sacks this season, which ranks among the highest in the league. With Chicago's defense looking to finish the season with a competitive performance, this prop has value. First half total points, under 20.5. Oh, this one's a real treat. We've got two teams with offenses so lethargic, they make sloths look like cheetahs. Chicago's offense is practically a case study in ineptitude. After all, they've only managed to score more than 17 points in 2 of their last 10 games. And last week, they put up a whopping 3 points against Seattle. Yes, you read that right. 3. So, expecting them to crack double digits in the first half against a solid Green Bay defense? Good luck with that. As for Green Bay, they're already in the playoffs, so there's zero incentive for them to go full throttle and risk any unnecessary injuries. They've had their own struggles putting up points early in games, especially against NFC North teams that know how to make things difficult. Plus, with a few key players potentially getting some rest. Looking at you, Josh Jacobs, Green Bay's offense is likely going to be just efficient enough to avoid catastrophe, but don't expect them to come out swinging like it's the Super Bowl. So, let's break this down. Chicago's offense is about as useful as a screen door on a submarine, and Green Bay is going to play it safe, trying not to break anything before the real games start. With both teams likely to spend the first half playing keep away and watching the clock tick, expecting more than 20.5 points in the first half is about as optimistic as thinking the Bears will end their losing streak. This one's a no-brainer. Take the under. Player prop, Caleb Williams over 0.5 interceptions. Oh, Caleb Williams, the rookie sensation who's been treated to the full welcome to the NFL experience. Forget those highlight reel throws. Let's focus on the fact that he's been sacked a mere 67 times this season. A casual number, really. And when you're under that much pressure, your decision-making tends to become, shall we say, adventurous. Interceptions? Oh, they've been a staple of his rookie campaign, just like a good cup of coffee in the morning. Now let's talk about Green Bay's defense. They're kind of good at picking off passes, being tied for 3rd in the NFL with 16 interceptions. That's right, 16. So, here's the math. Rookie QB plus 67 sacks, plus a defense that's practically salivating for an easy pick equals an interception waiting to happen. Given that Williams has made a hobby of throwing the ball to the other team this season, and Green Bay's secondary is always lurking like a hawk at a buffet, the odds of him tossing at least one pick in this game are pretty high. If you're looking for a solid bet that doesn't require much imagination, this is the one. Expect an interception, because at this point, it's not if, it's when. And that's a wrap on today's video, folks. I'm sure you're absolutely on the edge of your seat, eagerly awaiting the next thrilling installment of this channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because clearly you don't want to miss any of our daily videos. I mean, who could live without them? And while you're at it, smash that notification bell, so you can be the first to know when we drop more gems like this. Oh, and if you're looking for some premium picks, because, let's be honest, who isn't? Join our Patreon. It's where the real magic happens. Premium picks, insider info, and possibly even some mildly entertaining banter. So, hit that link, and we'll see you on the inside. Until next time, enjoy the game, make those bets, and remember, you're welcome.